Viktor Gyökeres is a dud.
Wow. Okay. Why? What?
Why? I mean, I think that we've now seen enough, haven't we? I think there were question marks before he arrived. I got a lot of stick, on this very station before he arrived.
Is that you or me?
Saying, no, that was you. That was you. Lack of professionalism from Shabana Hearn right there.
Not good.
I think that Gyökeres is basically not the player that Arsenal thought they were signing. He's not.
Gyökeres should take the spot kick.
Well, it's going to help him for sure to put the ball in the back of the net for any striker. It's the most meaningful thing. So they have made a decision to give it to him. Great decision.
Who did that?
I don't know. Between Martin and Bukayo and him, I believe.
Do you think Havertz will come straight back and into the side? And
Yeah, I think he will. I think both Gabriel Jesus and Kai Havertz are better players than Viktor Gyökeres. Like, Gyökeres hasn't been the player that they thought they were signing. They were signing the most prolific attacker in Europe. And when anybody suggested caution around that, when anybody suggested, scoring goals in the Portuguese league isn't necessarily the recommendation that you think it is, people were laughed at. People said that that's a ridiculous opinion. He's obviously going to score goals in the Premier League. Like, it isn't that easy. We've seen countless players arrive with big reputation and not be able to cut it.
do you not think he'll come good? He's scored 7 goals so far this season. I know you're right. Maybe that's not.
You're looking
what
at
they
charity
expected.
penalties and that, though. It's like
Charity
penalties. No, I don't think. I think Arsenal could still win the league, but I don't think Gyökeres is going to be the player that they need him to be.
Okay, you can give us your thoughts on that. Right, next one, please. What's on the menu?
Liverpool must sign Antoine Semenyo now.
Okay, before we speak more about Isak's injury, let's hear from Liverpool boss Arne Slot speaking after the win at Spurs. They beat them 2-1 and he discussed his team's upturn in form.
And not only that, I think last 6 games we won 4, draw 2, so I didn't lose 3 clean sheets in between. Today we were very close to a clean sheet again. Unfortunately, the second phase of the set piece we conceded, but I said many times this season, every time when we concede a set piece we lose a game and we have to make sure we're better than that. Today we conceded a set piece, but we were still able to win. So that is progress. What is progress as well, that again Hugo Ekitike scored, that Florian assisted to Alex. So team is getting better, but we're definitely not perfect yet.
If Arne Slot can say his name wrong, forgive me.
Everyone else
if
does
I
a pass.
butchered their name. Hugo Ekitiki's been outstanding. We do understand here at TalkSport that Mo Salah will likely stay at Liverpool because of Isak's injury. It's suspected he's got a fractured or broken leg. But do they still need more in January?
Yeah, I think they do. I think they do. And can I just put something to you as to why I think it's so desperate that they sign Antoine Semenyo? Disastrous news for Alexander Isak. You've got to pity him and everybody associated with Liverpool. Ekitike scoring goals for fun. Florian Wirtz finding his rhythm a touch. Liverpool have won their last 2 Premier League games. Their next run of fixtures, it goes Wolverhampton Wanderers at Anfield. It goes Leeds United at Anfield. Fulham away before they play Arsenal. If those games, Wolves, Leeds and Fulham, goes as you expect, they will have won 5 in a row. If they were to bring in Semenyo over Christmas or when the window opens in the new year, they bring Semenyo straight in and they get him in the first team. Is it impossible for Liverpool to retain a Premier League title? Like, totally impossible. They'll be, 8 points behind Arsenal going into a game against them? Beat them? Obviously, that's asking a lot. But I think if they bring Semenyo in, I know it's a long shot, and it's incredibly unlikely, and it's probably beyond them. But I think they can dream if they bring in a player like Antoine Semenyo.
He's linked to Man United though as well, isn't he?
Yeah, maybe. I'm sure Manchester United are up for signing him.
Are you sneering?
At Manchester United signing one of the most coveted and prodigious talents in the league.
Yeah.
Well, why would you suggest I'd be sneering?
Why is that so shocking to you?
Why do you believe it should be shocking? Or do you think Manchester United are in a position?
I could see him at United. I could see him being a Reuben player.
Yeah, I'd be very surprised if that were to happen. I think he'd be better off staying at Bournemouth
We can see
rather than that. But look, I think he'd be a great player for Liverpool. He's clearly the next cab off the rank, isn't he? He's clearly the next player ready to have an opportunity at a top tier team, and Liverpool most certainly that.
Speaking of which, Aston Villa beat Manchester United yesterday 2-1. What's your takeaway from this? I was going to go
Well, I mean, the thing that I would take from that game is I think that there's a world where Morgan Rogers could be the answer for England, but not in the way that everybody's saying. Even Thomas Tuchel himself has spoken, hasn't he, about how it's Morgan Rogers or Jude Bellingham. Jude Bellingham and Morgan Rogers, they're very good friends. They're competing with one another for a place in the England team.
Yeah.
The argument I'd make is, surely there's a world where Morgan Rogers is the answer for England alongside Bellingham. Like the one position in the England front line that's up for debate. Like Bukayo Saka's place is nailed on. Harry Kane, obviously, his place in the team is nailed on. It's the left-hand side where there is a bit of jeopardy. Some would argue Anthony Gordon. Some would argue Marcus Rashford. Some would argue Jack Grealish. Surely, Morgan Rogers playing that position, we saw him play so well there yesterday. He can be our answer in that position, which would mean that he could link up with Jude Bellingham. You'd be able to get them both in the team.
You think Tuchel will go for that? He's got to be looking at that as an option.
I think he's very likely to start Rodgers. The debate is more, will he start Jude Bellingham? You know, Phil Foden can't be ignored in this situation.
Is that position though, who you starting, Morgan Rogers or Jude Bellingham?
I find it very difficult to ignore Jude Bellingham's big game clutch moments. I find it very difficult, but I think Phil Foden deserves a mention here. Yeah. You know, he's played himself back into contention. So I think these are wonderful problems. You know, what we need to be very careful is we don't position what is a gift for the England manager as being a problem. How do you get all of these world-class footballers into the same team? Yeah. That's a dream situation for Tuchel.
Manchester City 3, West Ham 0. What's your takeaway from that?
Well, I think Brian Shirky could quite easily be the best midfielder in the league at the moment.
No audio.
I think he could be the best in the midfield at the moment. Like, if you look at the form that he's displaying, if you look at the consistency that he's playing with, he's also... I think he warms me because I always love footballers like that. You know, those kind of maverick 1970 throwback footballers who just kind of play in and really adopt the artistry of the game. Like, really embrace just the beauty of the game. He's not a system footballer at all. And Pep Guardiola seems to be making the most out of him. You know, his quick feet, brilliant eye for a goal, wonderful finish on him. I think he's one of the best players in the league at the moment, no doubt.
No, I think a lot of people watch him and agree with you.
Glorious player, isn't he?
7 wins in a row in all competitions now for Man City. They turning a corner. I mean, I think Man City will win the league.
Yeah, the corner's well and truly turned. Yeah. The corner is well and truly turned.
And this is the position that they do well from. They just hunt and hunt.
And I think the problem that Arsenal will have is if Guardiola gets in front. I think when Arsenal are leading the way, Arsenal will be okay. Look, they can hear the hooves behind them. They can hear the galloping of Man City behind them. But I think they're happy to be the trailblazers. If for some reason, and it could easily happen very soon, if Manchester City get ahead of them, I don't know if Arsenal will be able to claw it back.
I agree. 100% agree with you. Okay, Rory's takeaway there. Celtic 3, Aberdeen 1. What's your takeaway from Scottish football at the weekend?
Look, what's going on with Scottish football? I mean, I would say...
Not the Celtic.
Is Scottish football at its lowest ebb ever? And I don't say that with any glee or delight, by the way. I think it's quite sad.
Depends who you support. I mean, as a Celtic fan, this is awful. This is absolutely awful. I mean, historically bad. However, Nancy got his win yesterday, but, you know, the opposition go down to 10 men. We should be beating them anyway. But yeah, it's...
But do you know what surprised me, Siobhan? I had a look at the European tables, and you've got Celtic in 24th in the Europa League. You've got Rangers in 33rd, and you've got Aberdeen in 35th in the conference.
I think the coefficient rankings show that the Scottish Football League is behind the Austrian League.
Austrian? Yeah. And when you think about the scale and the size of the clubs, that they were very recently as well.
It's one of those things. I mean, Celtic and Rangers are massive clubs, right? We all know that. Huge fan bases don't make them the best clubs to watch, and we're seeing that just now. But when it comes to Hearts, it's a good thing for Scottish football because you get people like Tony Bloom coming in, putting their hands in the pocket. Look at them. Look at them. It's very possible.
Well, Hearts have played Celtic and Rangers twice each now, and they've won all 4.
Yeah. Crazy.
What's going on out there?
So you're saying football in Scotland it's its lowest?
Yeah, well, I'm asking the question, and I think it might be, yeah. I think it might be. I mean, I watched the Old Firm recently, and it was one of the worst games of football I think I've ever seen.
Unless you're a Jambo, I completely agree with you.
Right then, Gooners. Let's talk about this because that take on Viktor Gyökeres is wild. Calling Gyökeres a dud at this stage is exactly what modern football discourse gets wrong. Zero patience, zero context, and maximum noise. Let's be clear, this isn't blind defending. Gyökeres hasn't been perfect. He hasn't exploded the league, and yes, some of his goals have come from penalties. Fine, that's fair. But to jump from he hasn't hit peak form yet to Arsenal signed the wrong player is madness. First of all, this idea that Portuguese league goals don't translate is lazy. We've seen players fail from everywhere. Bundesliga, Serie A, even the Premier League itself. That argument only gets rolled out when someone wants to be first, not right. Secondly, Arsenal didn't sign Gyökeres to be a YouTube compilation striker. They signed him for profile, physical presence, penalty box threat, chaos creation, and yes, goals over time. You could hear it in Arteta's defence of him. This is a striker who has had no real pre-season, picked up an injury just as he was building rhythm, and is still adapting to a far more structured system than he's ever played in. That matters. Now about the penalty. Giving Gyökeres the spot kick was absolutely the right decision. Confidence is currency for strikers. Every elite number 9 needs those moments. You don't build a striker by hiding him. You build him by backing him. And the fact that senior players were involved in that decision tells you everything about how the dressing room feels about him. And here's the key point pundits keep ignoring. Arsenal can still win the league, but they're far more dangerous if Gyökeres clicks. Jesus and Havertz are excellent footballers, no argument. But neither gives you what Gyökeres can give you at his ceiling. Those tight games in March. Those moments when you need a touch in the 6-yard box. Those ugly goals when control isn't enough. That's why Arsenal bought him. Meanwhile, the real subtext of this whole debate is fear. Fear of Manchester City. Fear that Arsenal might need more than control and structure. And yes, City are coming. Yes, Guardiola knows how to hunt from behind. But writing Gyökeres off now, that says more about impatience than football intelligence. This isn't the finished article, it's a work in progress. And if he hits stride in the second half of the season, the same voices calling him a dud will be lining up to say, well, we always said he just needed time. As Arsenal fans, we've been here before. Back the player, trust the process, and judge him when the story is actually complete.